starting to line up behind their choice for minority whip, Maryland's Steny Hoyer or South Carolina's Jim Clyburn. Hoyer is collecting strong support from the party's liberal wing. He's also gotten the endorsement from 7 committee chairmen in a letter released yesterday. The number of public endorsements for Clyburn are fewer so far, but he's getting strong support from members of the Congressional Black Caucus. All the while, there are quiet murmurs on the Hill that younger Democrats are desperate to see some of their own slide into those key leadership roles and literally change the face of the Democratic Party. In our spotlight tonight, Democratic Congresswoman Barbara Lee and Democratic Congressman George Miller. Congressman Miller, why are Democrats so resistant to changing their leadership after being led to such a disastrous loss in last week's election?
Well, because I think they reject the notion that the loss came about because of their leadership. The loss came about because of a horrible economy as a result of the Wall Street financial scandals, unemployment rate that continues to be 9.5%, was 10% for much of the year, and the economic insecurity of families. But remember, it was this Democratic leadership, this Democratic caucus, and the President of the United States that pushed through the jobs bills that we did get passed, the tax cuts for small businesses to help them create jobs. But the Republican Party made a strategic decision. Mitch McConnell, laid it out when he said he was investing in the failure of this president, and when they decided they would not help us on any of these issues. So they chose their party and their party strategy over the well-being of the American economy, over the well-being of our country. And out of the 16 tax cuts that we did for small businesses, they made a decision they would vote against 15 of those. They delayed every jobs bill in the Senate until the very end. They reduced them to nothing, so they were ineffective. And then they want to say that it's because of Nancy Pelosi. The Democrats know what they're doing. They're attacking the most effective leader we've had in the House of Representatives in decade after decade after decade, okay? And so they're deciding that they're going to decide who's our quarterback. This is taking Eli Manning off the field because the Jets fans don't like him. That's not the issue.
Congresswoman Lee, there is a difference between, taking the football player off the field because the other fans are booing that football player. As you know, in politics, the fans decide the outcome of the game. They get to vote. It ain't like football. And on Nancy Pelosi, the fans have spoken. Our latest polls show she has a 24% overall approval rating, a 50% disapproval rating overall, and the numbers are much worse with independents, with possible swing voters. Just an 8% approval rating among independents, 60%, 61% negative rating. Now, this is not of her making. This is a result of years of demonization. She has been the target of demonization by the Republicans, and certainly with those independent poll numbers, it indicates a successful campaign of demonization. Just as a practical matter, if you love Nancy Pelosi, if you think she was the greatest leader legislatively the House has ever had, isn't it also possible to think there should be a new face that starts off without those negative poll numbers to lead the Democrats in the House?
This has been one of the most effective Congresses in history under Speaker Pelosi's leadership. We're faced with many, many challenges moving forward. The Republicans have said that they want to privatize Social Security. They want to cut Medicare. They want to raise the age of retirement. We need someone who knows how to meet these challenges and lead our caucus in a unified way to make sure that our senior citizens are secure. When you look at what happened under the Bush administration, the Bush administration wanted to put Social Security at the whims of Wall Street. Our seniors don't deserve that. Speaker Pelosi led that caucus and helped defeat that initiative, as she helped defeat many initiatives. I think now is the time to have strong leadership. We have to have someone who can unify the caucus, and we have to have someone who can not only work in a bipartisan way and bring us together to ensure that we create jobs and create some economic security for all Americans, but someone who knows that that when we have to fight and when we have to make sure that we do not privatize Social Security and when we have to protect our seniors, we have someone who is there on behalf of our senior citizens. Nancy Pelosi has a proven record for that, and I think she's going to be another effective leader in the next Congress.
Okay, I'm just going to ask this one more time because clearly neither one of you really want to take on this issue, and I can understand that the speaker is the speaker going to be the majority leader. You can't be caught out in public saying anything that's out of tune with what the message
Lawrence,
is.
that's not the issue.
You're both
That's
doing
not the
an
issue, Lawrence.
Wait a minute. You're doing an excellent job on the message of Nancy Pelosi's legislative accomplishments as Speaker. There is no dispute about that, and no one is disputing that. Republicans don't dispute that, okay? That isn't in dispute. The question is, and I'm just going to put it to you this way, Congressman Miller, does it matter at all? Does it in any way matter what the approval poll rating numbers are about the Democratic leader in the House of Representatives?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that issue. You know, they spent $65 million demonize her in a national campaign. But the fact of the matter is, all the time that has been going on, she has effectively led the Democratic caucus. She's led the legislative program for the President of the United States. And again, to decide that somehow this entire election result, it falls on Nancy Pelosi because the Republicans say so.
We can move on. No one is saying that the entire election results turns on this.
But the fact is, the Democratic caucus overwhelmingly is responding to her, saying they want to support her.
Come on. Can we just break the spin for a second?
No, you stop. No, it's not a question of spin. I'm telling you, the colleagues I'm talking to, I assume the colleagues that Barbara Lee is talking to, the people who are calling the speaker, and you have people you've always had, as long as I've been in the Congress, which is about the same time that, you know, when you were there, people have always decided they would distance themselves from the leadership, no matter who it was. It could be Jim Wright, who people thought was too conservative. It could be Tip O'Neill.
A legislative agenda means that we are working on public policy that's going to affect the lives of the American people. That's what we have to understand.
Can I ask you a tactical question? Do you entertain tactical questions? We acknowledge that you guys were running against the worst economic conditions that any Congress has ever run against to try to get reelected. We recognize that it was going to be very unlikely under any circumstances, with any speaker, with any leader, for you guys to have a more successful night than you actually did. I want to grant all those points. I want to ask you this marginal technical question. In fact, forget it as a question because I know we're not going to get anywhere with it. The point I was trying to raise is, might there be a very slight marginal technical advantage in having a new face in the leadership, as you did in 1994 when you lost the House that last time, especially because Tom Foley lost his seat in the process. So it's not a crazy idea.
Lawrence, a technical and a tactical advantage would be to have someone who knows how to unify the Democrats around an agenda, around job creation efforts, around small business tax credits, about making sure that we move forward to ensure the economic security.
We got it. By the way, the Republicans have broken the seniority system in the House in terms of chairmanships in the past. You people are locked into a seniority system that guarantees you the oldest members end up being the chairman of these committees. Is there any possibility that you might in any way tamper with the seniority system in the committee leadership?
We've broken it in the past caucuses, and I assume there will be challenges